Okay, now that we've got about a 65-degree temperature swing, yeah, from minus numbers, negative numbers to I think it's upper 60s now. Anyway, we are going to load up some 6.5 Creedmore. And I got me a new toy. Yeah, it's upside down, but anyway, it's a lineman priming tool. Yeah, it has you got to use the shell holder and all that, but what I like about this one is, one, I couldn't get another one of my RCBS ones that I wanted. I was going to set one up for large and one for small, and couldn't find one anywhere, and found this lineman, and it comes with a small tray and a large tray. So I thought, well, that's kind of neat, and I wanted a new shell holder anyway. Well, the number 2 shell holder works for 30-06, 308. I think the 6.5 Swede, the 6.5 Creedmore, the 6mm Creedmore, it fits a lot of them. So what we were looking at is, I've never dealt with this Creedmore before, this 6.5 Creedmore, and of course these are large rifle primers. And this happens to be Hornady brass. Put it in there, and it's got a nice feel to it, and it's below flush. It's countersunk, take a right turn. But what we got playing around with these, and we found some of this brass that I picked up is Sierra brass, a federal company, Vista, whoever they are, and they have small primers in them, so be careful. Anyway, we're going to load up these 35 or so rounds with some 140 grain, kind of mid-grade, and we're going to test them out in my buddy Robert's nephew, I think it's a nephew, Savage, and see what we come up with. Robert's got a load, and then I'm going to load, and we'll just see which one the rifle likes. So anyway, we're going to keep going here. Beautiful weather. Oh my, that's very ergonomic, I guess is the right term. It don't take a whole lot of pressure to get the primer to go home. You feel it go home. It's very solid, and unlike dealing with the 300 Blackout with all those crimped primer pockets that you've got to swedge and clean out and deburr and what all the other stuff, this is just once fired factory ammo that we picked up off the gun range, and the majority of that stuff, like I said, is brand new. So we will prime these bad boys. I have a powder picked out that I'm going to load, and I'm going to be straight up honest with you. I haven't loaded a lot of it, even though it's a Hodgson powder that I usually tend to lean towards Hodgson powders. It's kind of like RCBS. I don't know. I can't tell you why, but I just do. And anyway, I've got not quite a fresh pound of it, and so we're going to load it up. We're going to pick out a load right about mid-level. If it was for me personally, I tend to load them somewhere in the 75 to 80% load range out of the load books, knowing full well that the lawyers have been involved, and more often than not, my 257 Weatherby and one of my 300 Weatherbys, they like running a lot hotter than what the book says. But, you know, just to be on the safe side, they always kind of load them down a little. And when it comes to the books, got a very positive shut off, so no more primers will pop out. This thing here I've been using for years and years. This RCBS Universal. I really like it, but it takes a few minutes to swap out the small and the large primer pusher. I think that's the right term. And I gotten lazy and didn't want to do it. So I'm going to set one up for large and one for small, and we're going to go to town. Alright, so let me flip this thing around. Okay, we did go to the tumbler and find the others that were mixed in with some 6.5 284 and some 6.5 Swede. Anyway, another life lesson here that I will teach you right quick so you don't learn the hard way is don't assume anything, especially when you're dealing with range brass. Okay, all these nickel case ones evidently were fired out of the same gun because they were all just about the same length. They were just slightly longer than the trim tube length. You look in your book, you'll have that information. It'll say what the maximum cartridge case overall length is, and I would go by it. These others, I am guessing that they were fired in something else, because every one of these brass ones from about here over were 5 to 6 thousandths longer than the maximum case length. Okay, so anyway, the SAMI specs, and I can't remember what all that stands for, but anyway, what that generally means is you've got a maximum case length, and if you make that brass that length, it should fit in any firearm of that caliber. Then there's always free bore and blah blah blah. But anyway, there was almost 15 thousandths difference between some of these, which are a few thousandths longer than the trim tube length, and 2/3 of these that were 3, 4, yeah, I think there was a few, even 5 thousandths longer than the maximum case cartridge length. So anyway, so we trimmed them all. If you watched any of my videos, you know we built racing engines and some stuff in the past. I treat these, the brass case, like an engine block. We try to get them as absolutely perfect as we can, because it's very important. If you just go willy-nilly or just resize the brass and let her fly, Lord help you. You will probably not ever have a problem, other than the fact that you will try to chamber around and won't go. But I'm telling you, it's extremely critical. Buy you some digital gauges or even some quality dial gauges. And I'm not saying that all of these are within a couple thousandths of each other, but they are. But you don't have to do that. But if anything else, at least make sure it's longer than the minimum or trim tube length and shorter than the maximum case length. You'll be okay. All right. So there you go. That's all the preaching we're going to do tonight. So we're going to get to it. I'm going to get the powder charge, get this thing set up, and then we'll go from there. Okay, and as the manager for the Rangers used to say, we let the machine do what the machine do. Ron Washington. All right, we let the charge master throw us out our set charge. The set charge is down in here, which is good because we're stuffing a real long 140 grain SST in there. And look at that. Look how long the bullet is to the cantilever. It goes in there a pretty good ways. Set on there. Set the machine. Let her go up there. I've already done 3 or 4. I'm going to cheat, but we're looking for 2,800, and we have 2,805. Yeah, we can live with that. So in the meantime, the machine doesn't spit out our charge weight again. Dump that in there. Let her sit. Check our charged case. Good thing about these boat tail bullets is they just sit right in there a little bit. Slide her in, let her rip. And for accuracy's sake, even though this is a bolt gun, I am not going to crimp them. I can live with that. Anyway, it's just a pretty sexy looking bullet if you look at it. See that? Look how long the thing sticks out. And remember, that thing has got almost that much in the case as the amount that's sticking out. Yeah, it's not on the cantilever, but that's the length I want to run those at. So here we go. Charge case. Seated bullet. Slam her up in here. Let her rip. And there you go. Another quality round. Ready to rock. Let's throw a measure on it. The only thing wrong with these digital ones is after a time, if you don't mess with them, they shut off. Oh yeah, perfect. Now sometimes those things will drive you berserk because of that polymer tip. Some of the die sets will deflect that tip and give you a false reading. Oh Lord, I was loading some, it was 6.5 Swede, 120 grain nozzler ballistic tips, and that thing fought me and fought me and fought me. And I called a buddy crying, not literally, and he said, "Oh yeah, it's just deflecting the tip." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And I measured them from the old jive, I think that's how you pronounce that, where it becomes 264, and they were all within a thousandth or two. So anyway, but these are new Hornady dies, and there's an opening for these SSTs and AMAXs so you don't deflect them. I don't even know why I'm measuring them anymore. They're just that good. That goes back to setting the brass as perfect as you can get it. Building block of the round is right there. Same thing as your block on your race car engine. There you go. Too much fun. We'll keep loading here. Beep. Charge Master's getting some age on it. I swear it used to spit out powder much faster, but I don't know. Maybe not. Let's throw a measure on this bad boy. See that? Can you read it? Yeah. That's what I thought. Alright. I'll cut this off.